NSTV, the television.
Good day and welcome to NSTV International, your trusted source for credible news, insightful discussions, and engaging programs. Remember, NSTV is easily viewed on all social media platforms like YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and GoTV channels. Today we are going to discuss insecurity and societal progress, kidnapping, banditry, and the role of religious leaders, political leaders, and the general public at large. My name is Adebisi Omowumi, and I am delighted to be with our guest, AIG Olusola Subair retired, Special Advisor to the Ogun State Governor on Security. AIG Olusola Subair retired is a seasoned security expert and retired Assistant Inspector General of Police with decades of experience in policing, intelligence gathering, crime prevention, and public safety. As the Special Advisor to the Ogun State Governor on Security, he coordinates strategic security initiatives, promotes interagency collaboration, and advises the state government on policies aimed at protecting lives and property while ensuring sustainable peace and development.
I joined the force in 1986 as a cadet ASP, and I rose through the ranks. I worked in Ogun State. 3 times I was in Ogun State, I was first of all, I came to Ogun State. I was the divisional police, the divisional crime officer in Ogbere. That was during the time of Shino Rambo. So our CP then was now looking for somebody who can speak French, that will be relating with the police in the Republic of Ghana. So he picked me from Ogbere and took me to the state CID as the second in command in charge of the anti-robbery section, because Shino Rambo and robbers from the Republic of Benin were troubling us seriously at that time. But we were able to do it. I was there severally. I went to the Republic of Benin. There was a time we even invited some police officers from the Republic of Benin to Nigeria here, hosted them, just to solicit for their support. From there, I went to Interpol. I was at Interpol for 7 years. So that made, when I became a commissioner, the IG then to take me back to Interpol because of my experience at Interpol when I was a middle-level officer. So I was at Interpol as a commissioner of police. I got my AIG there and retired there. I worked there. I headed Interpol Nigeria for 4 years. And I was elected into executive committee of Interpol to represent Africa as a delegate to represent Africa in 2017. Between 2017 to 2021, it was extended by a year because of COVID-19.
A former Assistant Inspector General of Police and ex-head of Interpol Nigeria, Olusola Subair, retired, said Nigeria can significantly reduce kidnapping, banditry, and other violent crimes if citizens actively support security agencies with credible intelligence while governments continue to address the root causes of insecurity. Subair, who spoke during a special interview with NSTV International, said although Ogun State shares in the nation's security challenges, the state has remained relatively stable through strong collaboration among security agencies, proactive policing, and sustained support from the state government.
Well, you can't separate the security situation in Ogun State from that of what we have in Nigeria. There is no denying the fact that we are faced with some security challenges in Nigeria, and Ogun State is having its own share of that insecurity. But we are coping with that situation in Ogun State. We are trying our best to ensure that our people are sleeping with their 2 eyes closed.
The retired police chief identified unemployment, the influx of foreign criminals, proliferation of small arms, and the growing get-rich-quick mentality among some youths as major drivers of insecurity. He, however, commended the Ogun State government for creating an investment-friendly environment capable of generating employment while also supporting security agencies with policies aimed at crime prevention. Speaking on the impact of insecurity on national development, Subair noted that persistent security concerns discourage both local and foreign investors, affect agricultural productivity, and slow economic growth. He explained that the state had successfully reduced recurring farmer herders conflict through an early warning system, stakeholder engagement involving traditional rulers, farmers, and herders, and prompt intervention before dispute escalate into violence.
There are many factors. There are many factors. Um, First, let us look at unemployment. That is a factor because many of our youths are unemployed. And in Ogun State, for instance, you can see some skyline changes in Ogun State. If you pass through our this road leading from interchange to Abeokuta, you will see developments going on day by day in that area, and that is to tell you that the government of Ogun State is putting all hands on deck to ensure that there is investment in Ogun State. Ogun State is an investment destination for companies that are willing to invest here and to provide jobs for the citizens of Ogun State also. So that is a factor. But we are trying to, make sure that we tackle insecurity through that angle. Influx of foreigners into our country also, that is another headache. And then the proliferation of small and light weapons, that is another menace that we are grappling with. But, steps are being taken in the right direction because we have somebody who's heading that particular agency in Abuja. They have been recording some great successes in ensuring that they mop up all these light weapons that are in circulation so that we will stifle all those bandits and kidnappers from getting arms. So that is another factor. Then one other factor I can think of is the value system in Nigeria. Nowadays people just want to get rich quick. That get rich quick syndrome is what is playing out, and because of that, people are willing to be recruited into whatever manner of crime just to get money. So that is another factor that is contributing to insecurity in our nation. A right-thinking person will not want to invest where there is insecurity. That is for sure. And once you even go outside to plead with investors to come to Nigeria, and they know that there is insecurity in Nigeria, they would not want to come and invest. And that is why most of these bloggers, they are not helping things at all. Just sometimes they circulate fake news, false information, which, scare people away from coming to Nigeria to invest. So that is one of the things affecting our country. Then in the area of agriculture, we have had some challenges here between farmers and herders. In fact, that thing is subsiding now because before we used to have serious challenges, but we adopted a system, an early warning system that will help us to know when crisis is about to come up. And we put in place some strategies that we make the farmers and the others to collaborate together. In fact, what we do is to just go to communities and set up stakeholders committee between farmers, others, the traditional rulers, the security agencies, so that whenever there is any challenge amongst themselves there, they will tackle it and resolve it. The ones they cannot resolve is the one they escalate to us. So that has helped us a lot, because we always say that we learn from mistakes. We had a very serious crisis here in 2022, and since then we have been able to manage the problem of farmers and others in Nigeria. Although we still have a pocket of reports, here and there, but we are managing it to the extent that we have resolved. We are to the extent that the thing has not escalated.
Subair noted that persistent security concerns discourage both local and foreign investors, affect agricultural productivity, and slow economic growth. He explained that the state had successfully reduced recurring farmer-herders conflict through an early warning system, stakeholder engagement involving traditional rulers, farmers, and herders, and prompt intervention before disputes escalate into violence. He also praised the recent operations by security agencies that dismantled several kidnapping networks, stressing that the fight against crime must remain intelligence-driven and proactive.
If you talk of crime generally, we always meet with the security agencies. We analyze the security situation, and then we deliberate on strategies to in place to ensure that we squarely face our challenges. So we do that one regularly. For instance, there was a time we were having challenges with cultism, and we came together even with the traditional rulers, and we were able to tackle that. Although we cannot eliminate crime completely, that is for sure. We still have a pocket of incidents here and there, but at least to a manageable extent, we have reduced that. Yahoo, we have been able to do something about that also. And kidnapping and banditry, in fact, of recent, the police carried out an operation, and they dismantled the cells of these kidnappers, and that is something that will be sustained, because we want to be proactive. We don't want it to happen before we begin to react. So we want to take the battle to them.
The former Interpol boss urged Nigerians not to shoot criminals, adding that residents should utilize available communication channels, including anonymous text messages, to report suspicious persons or activities to the police and other security agencies. When you see something, say something, he advised.
One thing is that this battle we are facing with bandits and kidnappers, they are asymmetric warfare. You don't know where they will strike. If it is a conventional war now, you know where you are going, the battlefield where you are going to meet. But in this case, they can just spring up anywhere, and they can spring surprises. That is why we have to be readily available also. We have to always be on our toes. We have to always think outside the box to ensure that we beat them to their own game. We need to know that security agencies, investigators are not magicians. There is no case you can unravel unless you are equipped with enough information and intelligence. So, and this intelligence will come from outside the police. There are some that they can cultivate themselves, and there are some that they have to get from people. So it is advisable to people. If you want police to help you, you must help them also. If you want security agencies to help you, you must help them. And how? Help them with intelligence, help them with information, because that is what they use to work with.
Security agencies are not magicians and can only succeed when members of the public provide timely and accurate information about suspicious activities within their communities. The former Interpol boss urged Nigerians not to shoot criminals, adding that residents should utilize available communication channels, including anonymous text messages, to report suspicious persons or activities to the police and other security agencies. When you see something, say something, he advised.
Most challenging thing about it is that most of us are not conversant with our environment. These criminals are not faceless people.
They are not good.
They are not ghosts. They are living amongst us. Some of us, we know them, but for fear of what may happen to us, we don't want to, disclose the identity. But that is why we must be resilient. We must stand our ground and make sure that we report everything that is suspicious to the police. There are ways by which you can even do it without you revealing your identity. You can do it by sending text. The number of every DPO area commanders at a police station or area command office is always made public. The telephone number of the commissioner of police is not something secret. And for other agencies too, it's not something secret. So you can just send a text by, unknown number. You just send the text and you pass the information you want to pass. And that is how to help the police to do their work.
We urge political leaders to lead by personal example, restore societal values, and provide responsible leadership capable of inspiring young people to embrace legitimate means of livelihood.
From crime also, because some people are lured into Christ through peer pressure. My friend is doing it, my friend has bought a vehicle, I can do it also, I can buy a vehicle also, and they are lured into it.
Of criminal.
Yes. So, we can use
Subair called on religious leaders to use their pulpit to promote integrity, hard work, and moral values, instead of encouraging unrealistic expectations of instant wealth.
We can use our pulpit to douse crime. We can use our pulpit to encourage people. And this preaching of prosperity, we should be emphasizing it a little. We know that God can bless, but not to encourage people that money will come even without working. So that is not a good way, to use your pulpit. So we should, through the pulpit, let them know that crime does not pay. You have to, whether you are a traditionalist or a Muslim or a Christian, the book that is your guide says that he who does not work, that is just it. So we must put ourselves, out to work for our living. To earn our living, we must work.
Equally urged political leaders to lead by personal example, restore societal values, and provide responsible leadership capable of inspiring young people to embrace legitimate means of livelihood.
They should be individuals worthy of emulation. That is just it. They should provide direction. We are talking of our values that have been eroded. These are people that should bring back the value. Let people know that this is the way to lead. This is the way to live your life. By showing example, not to begin to show off. Because people see them as people that are affluent and they want to do whatever is possible or whatever is within their means to get prosperity and be affluent just like these people also. So because they are looking at you, you have to provide a direction, be an example of a good citizen that people can emulate.
He further acknowledged the critical role of traditional rulers, community leaders, and local security outfits.
We have a model in Ogun State, because we have always engaged the traditional rulers in securing Ogun State. We always carry them along. I remembered when we have the challenges of cultism, when the thing was so rife here and there, we have to engage the traditional rulers. And there was one particular paramount ruler that helped us to the extent that cultists were coming out to renounce cultism. That is the extent to which we were able to engage them. And even with this problem of kidnapping and banditry also, we have also engaged them. I think there was a time that the Olu of Ilaro was going around just to assure people that the security agencies are working, because we are working together. So he was privy to some of the actions to be taken, and he went around just to douse the tension and make the people realize that security agencies or government is at work.
He further acknowledged the critical role of and local security outfits such as Amotekun in intelligence gathering and grassroots policing, noting that their closeness to the people has strengthened public confidence and improved information sharing with security agencies.
Talking of security at the local level, we have the Amotekun also that is very close to the people. They are agents with their ears to the ground because they are from the community. They are working in the community where they were recruited. So they are familiar with the setup of that community. They can easily blend with that community, and that helps in getting intelligence, from the community. And it helps to build trust also, because they know they are their people. So people can trust them, because I won't deceive you, security agencies have the problem, the challenge of in trust. There is trust deficit, and these are things that we are doing to ensure that we get the trust of the people. Ogun State is an example, because what we have achieved so far is due to the cooperation, the collaboration, the synergy between the security agencies. Ogun State is an example. We don't work in silos, we work as one. And we meet regularly, just as I told you, we meet regularly sometimes we have extraordinary meetings. Whenever we have a challenge, we come together to quickly know what role each agency should play. And then we have our regular meetings also that we normally host. The police commissioner is always the chairman. We host it. We look at strategies to adopt, what challenges we are facing, strategies to adopt, and how to combat it. So we are working harmoniously here in Ogun State. There is great synergy among the security agencies. One, that should be expected. Because normally, the police works directly with the public. And sometimes, there's one thing I've observed in Nigeria. Whatever does not favor me is not good. That's the way people, see things in Nigeria. Whatever will favor me, that is the best thing. If, for instance, somebody is arrested now, somebody that is related to another person, the person who is related to the arrested person will now want to vouch for that person, that I know this person, this one is not a criminal. But police cannot just go and arrest without cause. There must be a reason. I'm not really know the fact that there are some overzealous officers. There are some of them. But because of these things that brings about confrontation between the agencies, and the public, there is that tendency that there will be trust deficit. But you see, the way it can be tackled is for the police to be open. To be open, to let people know what they are doing. For instance, if you go out for an operation, you arrest people. If you arrest a relative of somebody, will not be happy that you have arrested this person. But if you can let everyone know that this is the reason why this is carried out, it is for the good of the general public. I think like that, that deficit in trust will be eroded, and then there will be improvement in the relationship.
According to him, security agencies are not magicians and can only succeed when members of the public provide timely and accurate information about suspicious activities within their communities. The former Interpol boss urged Nigerians not to shoot criminals, adding that residents should utilize available communication channels, including anonymous text messages, to report suspicious persons or activities to the police and other security agencies. When you see something, say something, he advised, stressing that many criminals live within communities and are often known by residents.
Well, know your environment very well. I remember we had a program sometimes, and I had somebody who was sitting in front of me to tell me the color of dress the person behind him was wearing. And he couldn't, because he did not observe his surroundings. So we need to be very observant and make sure that whatever security arrangement is in place in our communities, we participate in it. For instance, we have landlord association. That association should not be a gathering of criminals. Even what do they call it? CDA, town hall meeting should not be a gathering of criminals. Whenever they know that somebody is a criminal amongst them, or somebody has tendency to commit crime, or is drifting towards crime, they should quickly alert the security agencies. When you see something, say something, and make sure that you are not lured into crime. Don't be part of those that will be troubling others. And parents also should always make sure that they don't leave the upkeep of their wards or their children to teachers in school alone. I remember during our time, like they used to say that it is 4 eyes that give birth to a child, but many that will train
the child.
But that nowadays it's not possible, because when you beat a child, you go to court for it. But that time they will beat you. In fact, your parents will send you back and tell them to beat you the more. So we need, from the home front also, we need to take some steps to ensure that our children are not encouraged to join in forces with criminals. Very fine. That gives a bit of confidence. And I want to assure everybody that, the government is not just relaxing on what they have done. They are not resting on our hours. We are still working. We are working daily, every day, strategizing, just looking at what we can do.
However, commended the Ogun State government for creating an investment-friendly environment capable of generating employment.
One thing I observed with my governor is that he's a man that does not like wastage. That, people are buying this, let's go and buy it. People are doing this, let's go and do it. No. You will have to convince him that this thing is going to work before we put the money of the taxpayers' money into it. So that's one single thing. You will not just rush into buying anything in the name of technology. No. You will take its time. You will seek opinion from people and then he'll be convinced that this thing can work before he can adopt it. We are working to ensure that, yes, in the future, Ogun State is safe, technology is deployed, and the security agencies are adequately equipped.
Reflecting on his policing career, Subair recounted joining the Nigerian force in 1986 and serving in several strategic positions, including the Ogun State Criminal Investigation Department during the era of notorious armed robber Shina Rambo. His fluency in French, he said, enabled him to coordinate cross-border operations with the police in the Republic of Benin, leading to successful anti-robbery operations. He later served at Interpol, eventually becoming Commissioner of Police in charge of Interpol Nigeria before rising to the rank of Assistant Inspector General of Police. He headed Interpol Nigeria for 4 years and represented Africa on Interpol Executive Committee between 2017 and 2022, after his tenure was extended due to the COVID-19 pandemic. He also participated in several United Nations and African Union peacekeeping missions in Macedonia, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Mali. Describing one of the saddest moments of his career, the retired police chief recalled the disappearance of Nigerian police officers who traveled to Gabon to recover a stolen vehicle through Interpol operations, saying despite international effort, the officers were never found.
I think one particular incident that is very saddening, a chagrin incident that happened was while at Interpol. Our officers, two of our officers went to Gabon. They went to Gabon and they got missing on the road. So we were unable to locate them. Interpol headquarters in Lyon tried to help us. We don't know what exactly happened to them because they went there by road. They went to recover a stolen vehicle. Because at Interpol too, we recover vehicles stolen from Nigeria and taken to those countries. So whenever we liaise with our counterparts there, they help us fish out the vehicle, we do the necessary paperwork, and then we send our officers to go and recover the vehicle. So we went for that type of operation, and three of them were, till today we couldn't find them. That is one of the saddest moments, one of my saddest moments in the police.
What message would you like to send to the people of Ogun State regarding their role in building a peaceful and safer society?
They should discourage themselves from taking part in crime. They should report whatever they observe, whatever that is, very unusual. They should report it to the security agencies. They should help the security agencies, cooperate with them in whatever they do. They need to know that you can't, if you have a problem, you can't run to criminals. You still go to police. Encourage them. And if you know that, yes, they are not doing it the way it should be done, you can escalate it to their superiors. So they are here to work, and work they must do.
Subair commended NSTV International for using journalism as a tool for public enlightenment, peacekeeping, and national development, urging media organizations to prioritize accurate and responsible reporting capable of reassuring the public and supporting efforts to build a safer society.
This will be the second time you'll be coming to me. Yes, you have been here once. Well, you are playing your part, and that is the role citizens. That's the role that our citizens should play, to make sure that they circulate correct information to the general public. You have heard from me now. This is something that will diffuse to the general public and that will give them assurance that this is what is actually happening in Nigeria. So it's a step in the right direction.
Thank you, sir. We want to appreciate you for giving us your time for being with us here today.
NSTV, the television station with the difference. We are on GeoTV, DSTV for new coverage of your event.